This is the Distracted and Disorderly podcast. I'm Chris, and this is Kayla.
This is Kayla.
We're just fucking idiots.
This
Let's
is
go.
Kayla.
Hi.
Don't act like I'm holding you hostage here.
Please, Okay. Yeah, this is the spooky episode because all four of you requested a spooky episode, and we're doing it. Like, where are you going? Where did she go? Anyways, this is the spooky episode. All right, we've been wanting to do one like this for a while. Okay, is that an octopus? Is that a spooky squid?
Yeah.
Okay. Hard eyes, motherfucker. All rise, motherfucker. Okay. Let's bring Vine back. Okay, it flips around to a regular one.
Yeah, we'll keep Spooky over here.
Spooky,
Wait, where is he in frame?
squid. So what?
Spoopy.
Just look. Let's real quick. Let's look at our backgrounds. Clean, neat, cool stuff. What is this basket full of garbage? Like, what is that?
That's all the wires I can't connect to my stuff.
Nah, I like the Squirtle you got behind you. Oh my God, we started a thing. Okay, so today's episode, spooky episode. We have a guest on today. He's going to talk to us for a little bit. We appreciate him for joining us. We're back. We're back.
We love the requests on social media. We hear you guys. We hear you. So that's, our little, inspiration for this episode.
Yes. Anyways, so how was your Monday?
Mondays suck. I don't want to go to work. Are you kidding me?
Literally Garfield.
Why?
She's like, I hate Mondays, lifts up a tray of lasagna. I'm going to smoke after, so I'm not baked for this episode. So, the gentleman we have on tonight, he is a ghost hunter. He plays music. He agreed to come on. We're excited to have someone on who does that stuff.
We're not holding him hostage, I swear.
New England is great for this kind of stuff. I mean, there's a few areas that are really good for it. New England's one of them. Georgia, I guess. There's a lot of places. Savannah, I think it is. There's a few places in Georgia that are real good. Louisiana, down that area. Yeah, there's a lot of good spots to do this. But I feel like New England's the place to be if you're going to do ghost hunting.
New England's great. The only thing I don't recommend for all the people who aren't in New England, do not go to Salem in October.
No.
Don't do it.
Do you want to hyperventilate because you feel like you're going to be crowded out till you die? Even in August.
All of the tourists
busy
go.
in August, first of all.
It's stupid in August.
I go in August. Like, we go because it's like mostly, it's not as bad as October. It's a little hot, but it's a good time. I didn't do any drugs before this. I have allergies. Anybody else have allergies? distractedanddisorderly@gmail.com. Fucking sucks this year.
I think you're doing drugs before the podcast.
I'd be way more energetic right now. I am drinking this, like, CBD. I'm doing it. No, I held it back. CBD drink. It's pretty good. It's got a little bit of caffeine. I don't know. So, brief history of ghost hunting. I just threw some stuff together. I didn't want to go too in-depth because I want to save time for the guest. So there's a couple things here. There's a gentleman named Hans Holzer, published his first book in 1963 called Ghost Hunter. He claims to be the OG of the term. I don't think he is. Because another gentleman named Harry Price used the term in his 1936 book, Confessions of a Ghost Hunter. So he can't be the guy that first coined the term. Then we got the Warrens, and obviously they're the New England Society for Psychic Research. They've investigated. Are you changing colors over there?
No.
No. They investigated all that popular shit, The Conjuring, all that stuff. That was all the Warrens. The Warrens are topsy-turvy in terms of truthiness. They're a little like back and forth on it. They have some really good stories, but then there's a lot of people that weren't happy with their embellishment of cases. The Amityville's a big one for them. The people that lived there that said all this happened and the Warrens corroborated their case, they actually came out and were like, yeah, that was mostly bullshit. Unfortunately. And if you've ever been there, it's a regular house. People live there now. There's nothing crazy there. You can drive by on Long Island. I don't suggest it. They don't want people driving by, but you can drive up there and look at it. It's a regular home.
I wonder if our guest has been there.
you can't go there. It's not an abandoned house. People live there. They don't want people going there. It don't even look like the movie.
Try.
It don't even look like the movie that Ryan Reynolds was all jacked and had a beard in and he was crazy. If anyone remembers that remake. But the Warrens did their stuff. Many groups have spawned since then. Of course, the big one in our area is what, Taps? You know who I'm talking about? Ghost Hunters.
Taps. Yep.
The Ghost Hunter show. That's Taps.
A big one on the internet is Colby. Is it? Oh my God. I was just looking at them like 2 minutes ago too. Colby and his friend, best wishes to them too, because I heard that one of them was diagnosed with like testicular cancer not that long ago. So, but they're popular on social media.
If Tom Green can beat that shit, beat that shit. Yeah. So that's the big one. There's been a handful. You got Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Brothers. I watched Ghost Brothers randomly, and I was dying. They were doing like, I don't know the best way to explain it without sounding offensive, but they were going to like the places regular ghost hunters won't go, aka those, the places, like they're investigating lower income housing areas and stuff like that. That was kind of a cool show, and they're funny. Those dudes are funny.
Sam and Colby, to correct myself.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Kayla's hair for a minute. Looks good.
Kayla's hair is having a crisis today because she didn't do it
now, but I'm sure everyone would agree. Let's see. Who was the other one I was talking about? This one I like. BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural. I don't know if you watched that one, Kayla, but I binge watched a bunch of it not too long ago, and it's I forget their names. I'm terrible. I should have wrote their names down, but there's two guys and they go stay at haunted locations, and one of them fully believes and the other one's skeptical as shit. And it's funny to watch these two interact as they like sleep in a haunted warehouse and stuff. Like, I don't know, you should check. Highly recommend it.
I don't know if I've seen a lot of based on true stories, or like, they have weird ones. What were the ones that were super popular? I was like 13, 14.
We talk about like movies?
It was I think it was a series though, because it was all in green because it was like the night cameras, and it was watching someone's house, and I would always go to my friend's house and we would watch her at her house, but I can't think of the fucking name of those movies.
It was Paranormal Activity?
Yeah, there was Paranormal Activity. Those were one of them.
Witch Project. Yeah, but those aren't even a lot. Here's how you know a movie is bullshit. When they say based on a true
story.
Those
were bullshit.
Or based on true events. And that means they're about to take a story and embellish it to the fucking mountains. It happens. You have anything else to add to this intro before we bring in our guest?
No, I'm excited to talk to him about this though, because I know that it could go either way.
So, yeah, let's line him up. We're going to bring in Chris. He's of After Dark Paranormal. He's part of that group. We're going to let him
check him out on YouTube.
Yeah, we're going to let him plug his socials in a little bit so that you can check him out. We've already been checking it out. And we'll get him in the room. All right, we're here with Chris. He is of After Dark Paranormal. I got that right? That's the group you're affiliated with? All right, what's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is Spooky Hollows.
Spooky Hollows, all right. And you play music. What's your band?
Pralium.
Pralium. All right,
yep.
All right. You got a show coming soon.
Yeah, at the Palladium on the 16th.
In
go check it out.
Worcester.
In Worcester.
I think there's a Palladium in every city. Yeah. So this is our resident ghost expert right here, Ghost Hunter.
Excited to have you on today.
How long have you been doing it? How long?
I actually started ghost hunting like last year, so I've only been doing it for about a year.
All right.
A little over a year.
That's still good. A year in.
Yeah, January.
So many questions.
Nice.
January of last year.
Not bad.
God. I have so many questions. Can I ask the first questions?
You want to get right into it?
I want to get right into it.
Right,
let's go.
Let's go. Do it.
Okay,
then.
I have like 5 questions, so I'm gonna let mine go, and then I'm sure Chris has like 20. So
no, I only have a small handful.
Okay, so my first one, it's gonna be super easy. We're gonna start off light. What's a location that you'd absolutely revisit?
The Conjuring House.
Why?
Okay.
Because I've had stuff happen to me that I honestly can't explain. I was doing a walk of the house and something pulled on the back of my shirt. And they actually got it on video because they have cameras throughout the whole house. So they actually got it on video, and I posted it to like TikTok, and it was in the Conjuring video as well. Um,
I did watch that. I did watch that video. She sent it to me.
Yep. Another
Hmm.
thing that happened was me and my drummer, like he's in the same group. We were upstairs and there was nobody else upstairs with us. He was sitting down right next to or right in front of the door frame. I was sitting on the bed. And all of a sudden somebody goes, like clear as day in back of Anthony.
I don't like when people breathe on me at
Right,
all. I can't imagine if I can't see who's breathing on me.
right in back of Anthony. So
So could he feel it, or just you like heard it?
no, we both heard it and I caught it on camera too.
Okay. See, it wouldn't have breathed down the back of your neck, Kayla.
No, it
You
wouldn't have
just
breathed
heard
down the
it.
back
I
of
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Now I know
So
what I'm
wait,
gonna
wait,
do
wait.
next time I see
On
you.
that topic though, you know that everyone there's like you're either on one side or the other. A
Mhm.
lot of people try to debunk these theories,
Yep.
and so when you're in situations like this and people ask like, oh, how do you prove this, and you're like, well, there's no explanation, you just have to come with me. Have you had people come with you in those situations who change their mind?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
Really?
Yeah, so Carolyn, my fiance, she was like a skeptic of ghosts at first, and I actually brought her to an investigation. It was at the
Mm-hmm.
Oliver house, and things happened. Like we've heard a woman laugh upstairs while we were doing the tour, like just full blown laughing.
Nope.
And then I also do this method called the flashlight method, where it's just a regular twist flashlight, and the ghost can connect the circuit and turn it on and off to questions.
What do you mean connect the circuit? So like twist it, or how does that
You
work? Can
like
you explain
twist
to
it till
everybody?
it's like almost
Yeah, you
unhooked,
twist
right?
it until
Yeah.
it's almost there. But and I've had times where it just sits there and does not go off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the Oliver house, it definitely went off.
I know the flashlight's like a highly contentious one. So I
Yeah.
watch it like a lot. I just love consuming this kind of content. So I always
Oh,
watch
yeah.
I always watch both sides. Like we talked about in the intro. You ever watch those the BuzzFeed Unsolved guys?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like the guy
Of
that's a
course.
wicked skeptic and the other guy who's scared of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but they're always a good one to watch because. But yeah, I know that one's contentious. I know the radio one. It's the what do you call it? I had it written down. The ghost box where it sweeps the radio channels and
Yep,
people
the spirit box.
you pull snippets out of it. That
Yep.
one too. I know that one's highly contentious because you can almost get what you want, but sometimes it's just unexplainable what comes out
Yeah,
of that thing.
so the way that I do it is I actually sweep AM frequencies. That way there's no radio interference, and I sweep it in reverse.
Okay.
So if anything comes through and it makes sense, there's no physical way that it can actually come through and make sense because it's sweeping in reverse.
Right. So everything would be
Oh.
playback, would be backwards.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good information to know because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, you know, everyone wants to just get famous on social media. So they start something
Yeah, no,
like this.
see, the reason why I started filming all the videos and stuff is because I want to prove that something's out there, and I'm not the one to like fake evidence.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people out there do fake evidence for sure, but
There's like a huge thing going on in the community. You probably already know about with Ghost Adventures.
oh yeah,
With
oh yeah,
Baggins. All Baggins
Yeah, oh, yeah.
team is coming
Zach
out,
is-
and it's just it like he overtook everything because like you had the Taps guys out there doing their thing, ghost hunters, and
yeah.
it's already questionable when it's on TV as it is.
Yep,
You know,
I've seen a video of a place that they went to, and the guy was like, this barn that they went to where like they had a bunch of murder mattresses. He's like, that's not true. That is completely a fixated story that Zach came up with to make it, you know.
Yeah, you got to add to it. You got to add.
Yeah,
to
exactly,
It.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
like go ahead. I'm sorry.
I also brought up in the intro before you were here, Chris, about Sam and Colby, and I was actually recently watching an interview that he did with Dr. Mike,
Yep.
where it's like unexplained stuff, and he was like, well, I'm a doctor, so I'm very much like into scientific belief, but with ghosts, it's not proven or not proven in these
Mhm.
areas. He's like, why did you guys get into this? And they were like, well, we're religious and we wanted to kind of believe that there's something after life besides just being miserably buried and dying. They're like, we
Right.
wanted to see if there really was something. They're like, it made us question our beliefs. We weren't sure if we should or should not believe. And they were kind of going back and forth with each other. And they were like, honestly, we both went into this as non-believers. Like we
Yep.
weren't sure what was out there, everything. And a lot of people in their comments are like, "Oh, you guys are fake. You're just doing it for
Yeah, but
clickbait.
does
You're just
that,
doing it
like,
for this."
does that even like make you feel any better knowing that instead of heaven, you're just doomed to this earth to loop playback some shit? Like that's
Yeah.
your
Some
comfort?
people,
Like really
it
though?
it
That would
might
scare
help
me
some people
more.
sleep better at night. But why do you think that most people cling to religion and why most people cling to some sort of beliefs or
I don't know.
spirituality? Because
Religion's like a thing for me. I can't understand. I can't wrap my head around.
that's what
how
I'm
people
saying,
can
though,
do
is that
Mm.
might not be you or the majority, but there are definitely groups of people who cling to that stuff for
Yeah.
comfort.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought up Sam and Colby.
Oh, I love Sam and Colby. I watch all of their videos, every
Let's
single one of
see.
them, every single one of
See,
them.
now I gotta go check
But
them out.
this is
You
a okay.
should.
So I would like to say something as well about like you bringing in like skeptics and stuff, and like so I have a 3-year-old. Well, he's 4 now, but when he was 3, I never mentioned anything about ghosts to him or anything, and all of a sudden, like he woke up one morning and he's like, the black ghost was here. And he said that it came from his closet, stood in front of his bed, and then crouched at the foot of his or at the head of his bed, and he was just watching it through the little like cracks in his headboard.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old said that. So I personally think that because I used to do like a lot of like
Ah.
cemeteries, that's what I started in,
Mm-hmm.
You know what that
and
does
I've
sound
had
like is sleep paralysis. That almost
Yeah.
sounds
That's
like what you see
scary.
during sleep paralysis.
yeah, but
Whew.
I'm telling you something actually startled Carolyn the other night because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I already fell asleep in bed. She was like watching TV on the couch, and then she said that something came up. Like she could tell that something was standing there, and all of a sudden something went on the
Mm.
top of her head.
See, I don't love that. So
And
because you
she
guys
Goes, I don't
have
love
kids,
that.
I don't love that.
I don't
But like
love
because
someone
you guys
blowing on
have
my head.
kids, because you guys have kids, and this is something that you probably keep private from them.
Mhm.
Do you have like a ritual or something that you guys do afterwards, like sage or like Well,
Yeah.
Chris,
So
I think one of
usually,
your questions was related to this. How did you phrase it? Like
Uh,
a person on deck to
my question was, do you go in dry or do you do some like rituals pre-hunt?
no, I don't do any rituals at
So
all.
what is it like when you're done so nothing follows you? Because people will
When
talk
we
about
do,
attachments and
yeah. So
Yeah.
when we're ready and about to leave, we usually sage. There's a person that my leader buys stuff from called Haunted Emporium. She sells
Mm-hmm.
like sage spray and everything, and we usually just use that, or we just use like sage sticks or something like that. And then
Okay.
we
now
tell them like, you cannot follow us home.
here's my
Oh, you
question.
preface that.
Is it working? Because something blew on Kara's head.
I feel like that might have been something from when I first started.
Right.
Because I was doing like a session at like 3 a.m. in my house on my phone, and I actually have it on video. It's crazy. So I went to Jones's Cemetery in Orange, and I had a device move here. Like it's on camera. It's on my TikTok. Like my EMF meter literally like slid across the ground, and this is like on flat ground. There's no way that this is supposed
Okay.
to like move.
Your TikTok,
So,
Spooky Hollows, is that your TikTok too?
yep,
Okay,
that's my
okay.
TikTok.
Don't forget, tell
So,
everybody when you bring it up. Tell everybody. We
yeah,
have 5 people watching.
yeah, my TikTok is Spooky Hollows. But so apparently what happened there was Jonathan Jones murdered his whole family, and
Yep.
they got buried there. So
Mm-hmm.
when I went with my sister, we found a grave that says Jones right on it.
Yeah.
But that's newer. I didn't realize that way in the back there was a Jonathan Jones and a Martha Jones.
Okay.
So,
I've been to the cemetery, so I'm trying to picture maybe they bought a new headstone in respect to their death. I don't know.
I don't think so.
People don't
I
do
don't
that.
think so.
That's not cheap either. So
No. So I asked, I'm like, do you know or do you know any of the Joneses? And then because I had an app on my phone, and the name Martha came up, which is the wife's name.
Nope.
There's no I have a hard time believing phone apps. Okay. I have a very hard time believing phone apps. But to have a name come across on a phone app that is affiliated to the question that I just asked is absolutely unreal.
Right.
That's weird to me.
Yeah.
But speaking of that though, while you said that you started in cemeteries, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what have you always had a passion for, like ghost hunting in particular, or were you just interested in the idea of something else?
I've always wanted to try it because I've always had something happen to me ever since I was young.
Okay.
Even when I was like 9 years old, I was sleep because I was in foster care. So I was sleeping on a top bunk. The bottom bunk was reserved for like another foster child.
Hmm.
And I was up at like 12 o'clock in the morning playing on my Game Boy when I wasn't supposed to. And then something went like this and like tapped on the bottom of my bed and nobody was there. So that scared the hell out of me. So I like covered my head like a normal kid does and just like wait.
What kind of happenings is that? Because isn't poltergeist when they move things? What happens when things are like touching you? Is that different?
Well, poltergeist is like a whole different thing because poltergeist is like usually attached to an adolescent or pre-adolescent girl typically, and that's another one that's highly debatable because they've had a lot of people come out and say that they faked it. A lot of kids come out and they were messing with their parents, but then there's unexplained ones out there. But I think what you're talking about would be like I had the whole list. I had the whole list right here.
You had it, and then
like,
you fucked up.
Like an intelligent
haunting.
Up. You fuck up there. Like an intelligent. That would be like an intelligent haunting rather than like a residual. An intelligent is like something that was alive before and they're doing their thing, just being their own being, rather than stuck in a time loop forever of loading the dishwasher.
So speaking of an intelligent haunt, I went to a place in it was Royalston. It was called Bliss Hill Cemetery. It's in the middle of nowhere.
I know where that is. No, thank you.
Yes, and it has like an old crypt that you can walk into.
So yeah, I speed by that cemetery every time I'm fucking in Royalston. No,
you hold your breath on the way by and shit.
So no. I investigated there a lot. Okay.
You're crazy.
And I got it on video as well. A lot of things that I mention, I have on video. This is on my TikTok as well. So my sister was recording at the time and she's like, "How old are you?" And it goes 9. A little girl answered with her age.
That was quick. And like immediate?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's on my TikTok, Spooky Hollows.
Yeah. There you go. I was gonna do it for you. All right.
But yeah, so a lot of, if you watch like ghost channels on YouTube or TV or something, and you see like some devices going off, I get what people mean by like it could be staged, because walkie-talkies interfere with EMF and they interfere with a REM pod for sure, 100%. Same with a phone. Your phone can actually interfere with them too. So every single time that I go to an investigation, I always turn my phone on airplane mode, and I make sure everybody else is on airplane mode as well, because it will not mess with the devices.
Yeah.
That's smart. So, that's a good way to debunk that.
Yeah, that's another thing. And another thing that we do is we make sure that we do not whisper at all. You're not supposed to whisper, because a lot of people can portray that as like a ghost or something, or even call you out on it. So I went to a place in Hinsdale that I still can't explain how the hell this happened.
Wait, New
Am
Hampshire?
I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just said fuck like 20 times.
Oh, fair enough. So
fuck.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
So no, this is actually in New York. This is upstate New York.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure it was New Hampshire or New York, because New Hampshire's fucking spooky
Good
too.
music scene out there. Good music scene out there.
Oh yeah. So this is like on the border of like Canada and New York. New York. So it's like 8 hours north. Hinsdale. I caught it on video. It's in my Hinsdale video on YouTube. I was doing a walkthrough of the house. It's always a walkthrough of the house, I'm telling you. Something like always happens.
Guided tours, right? Someone like you paid a tour there, or is it something where?
Yeah, so usually they give you a tour of the place. That way there you get all the information.
Right.
All that stuff.
Just so people know you're not just like rolling into places.
Yeah, exactly. So
you don't want to go where you're not allowed to.
Illegal.
You will be trespassing, yes.
Yeah. So I caught it on video of a bunch. It sounds like little kids were screaming at a playground.
Nope.
Like, we didn't hear it at the time until I went through the footage. And I think I showed this to you,
Okay.
Kayla.
Probably because I've gone through a couple of your edits that you've done.
Look at you
Yep.
getting her all nerved up. She's like hitting that vape and shit.
I can't. Like, do you see me? I'm shifting in my chair. I'm like checking my window.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So out of like all your visits, like what percentage of them you think you actually get results? And like, is most of them like fucking wasted night? I mean, fun night, but you didn't get anything, or you know?
There was one time that we didn't really get much, and I wasn't allowed to film here, so I didn't film anything. So I went to a jail in Winchendon. It's like a very, very old jail. They still had the jail cells and everything. And yeah, I had these little things called cat balls where you put them on the ground and like it lights up.
Yeah.
Due to like if something touches it.
He
If
showed me
nothing
those.
yeah,
He
if
did show
nothing
me those.
touches it, then
I seen it. I
won't
watched
go
your
off.
video earlier today. I was watching the one that you had the cat ball in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I literally put that in a jail cell, shut the door, and the door has like plexiglass on it, so there's like no air or anything going into the room. And that cat ball like rolled off of the little bench. And this was like after like 2 minutes of it being there. It rolled off the bench and just like fell to the floor. So I've had things that got moved. I've had things that pulled my shirt. I've seen a lot of like apparitions that I just cannot I can't explain it at all.
So
Are
you're
you
thinking, like,
comfortable? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so you think like 9 out of 10 of your visits, you're getting something to work with?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So this last place that I went to, it was an opera house, an old opera house. The YouTube video is going to be in the works after the Palladium show.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
We didn't have any REM pod activity. Very, very little spirit box activity besides the Estes method. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Estes method.
Explain it to the people.
Explain it to them. We don't know either, but she's trying to make it sound
No,
like we do.
I know what it is.
Explain
It's
it for all the
the
idiots
headphones.
watching, because we know.
No,
We know.
I know what it is because I've talked to him about the stuff. It has to do with the headphones, but he'll explain in more detail.
Yeah.
So the Estes method is you're plugged into the spirit box, you're wearing headphones, you're blindfolded. I usually just pull my hat down over my eyes because it makes, this is when I wore beanies and stuff, like during the winter time, pull the hat down over the eyes. And you put the spirit box in reverse on AM frequencies like I normally do. And you have to, so you have the music box. Jeez, here I am. I told you, spiraling. But
It's fine.
Anyways, you have the spirit box up as loud as it can go, so you cannot hear anything, and you put the headphones in. And the person who is asking the questions just sits there and asks questions, and you have no idea
what they're asking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then you have to repeat everything that you hear in the spirit box. It's called the Estes method.
Okay. Because that stuff's relatively new, the spirit box stuff, right?
Yep. So it was actually, I forgot exactly where it was, but it was in a Sam and Colby video. Have you ever seen the movie The Shining?
Yeah.
Of course.
Long time ago, but yes.
So The Shining was based off of an actual hotel. And Stephen King had a very bad dream, and that's how he actually wrote The Shining, is from that place. That the Estes method was actually created there.
Okay.
And it was created by a dude. Sam and Colby actually explain all of it. But anyways, at the place that I just recently went to, they could not get the name of the little kid. There was a little kid there, and they tried so hard to try to get it. They had groups come in. They were not able to get the name. It turns out that his name is actually Jake.
Okay.
Because he said it over. Yeah, he said it over the spirit box.
Okay.
I only had spirit box, Estes method and flashlight activity, and a little bit of EMF. but I'm still skeptical of the EMF because like it could be Wi-Fi routers or anything.
There's a lot going on that can spike that. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And there's a bar downstairs, so it very well could have been the
Yeah.
router from the bar or something like that. So I just played that off as, it could be that.
There's so many
So,
signals in the air nowadays. It's
yep.
crazy. Yeah.
But so my group actually just went, or a person from my group just went and did an interview for a TV show down in Connecticut. It was at a Sonia Opera House.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot my flashlight there. So it turns out that they actually had a field day because my flashlight was located in a different location than when I placed it,
Uh-huh.
in a completely different location. So speaking of like things getting thrown and stuff, I actually, like, the whole group experienced it. The tour guys experienced it and everything. We've had little pieces of like rocks thrown at us. We had a huge plug that was like this big thrown at us from the upper balcony when nobody was up there. Yeah, we had a
Right.
lot of stuff happen there.
Are you comfortable talking about why certain people have more interactions with ghosts than others? Like, do you think that it has to do with being more perceptive, or if it's more willing? Because you know how like kids are more susceptible to
Right.
paranormal
Suggestion and
activity than
stuff.
anybody
Yeah.
else. But so, do you think that you are a person who is more apt to experience something like that, and for what reasons?
So a lot of people actually think that I'm like a conjurer. I don't like to take in that name because, like, I don't know, I just have like a hard time believing that. But it turns out that like my great great grandmother was a seer, and I didn't even know what it was at the time.
I don't know
But
what that is.
it's one of the people that like can sense ghosts. They could tell like when something's happening.
Yeah.
They see things and everything, and it
Okay.
honestly makes sense.
Yeah.
And because I told my aunt like everything that's happened to me, um, and she's like, yeah, by the way, your great great grandmother was a seer. And when I went to the Hinsdale house, I didn't even put this in the YouTube video. It said all of that stuff that my aunt said over the phone.
Like that you're a
Over,
seer and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, it confirmed it over the spirit box.
See, that stuff kind of weirds me out though, because it's like, was is it the you think that it was the ghost that was listening in your conversation, or you think that it was the conversation that picked up on the spirit box, or like what do you think in that moment? Because my brain would be
I
going everywhere.
I'm not exactly sure. I'm
Yeah.
honestly not sure. It's
That's where
very
it's hard to
weird.
nail down. It's hard to nail those things down.
Exactly.
That's why there's
You have
no
to like be
news
in the
headline
moment.
saying everything's real. It's hard to nail any
Yep.
of that down.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I mean, I've had some weird happenings. I am a type of person who really wants to ignore it because I don't like when certain people reach out to me. Like I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast before, or if it was just like a clip that we deleted, Chris, but um I had an experience with a woman who was a medium who told me something that like scared me. Like I was genuinely nervous about it because I try to just pretend it's not real. I'm not necessarily a believer. I'm not a non-believer. It's just that I would prefer not to be a person who's connected to something in that way. Um and she said something that really spooked me and I spiraled. I bought like crystals. She told me what to buy.
Mhm.
She was like, here's some sage, because she told me in like a short story that something dark was following me, like something was attached to me, and I didn't love that. I was like, oh yeah, whatever, fuck this, like I'm not gonna believe you. And then I went home and immediately felt like, oh my god, what if she's
Yeah,
not
what if she's
bullshitting me,
right?
like,
She's got
yeah.
stock
So
in
I,
crystals, and you just made the stock go up by buying a bunch.
I don't
I
care.
always
You get nervous in those moments because I live in a, at the time I was in a creepy basement. Like my bedroom was in a basement. It just felt like dark all the time. And then on top of it feeling really heavy down there, which could have been like the electrical wiring, it could have just been that it was an old basement. It could have been that
Mhm.
I'm scared of the dark. I don't like the unknown. I've talked about that in our phobias podcast. I absolutely hate not knowing anything or what could be there in the dark. I don't love the idea of that. So maybe it could have been me spiraling, but I also didn't know this woman, and it was a weird feeling for me to trust what she was saying immediately, but I like wanted to believe her because she seemed very genuine, and she was being very heartfelt with me.
Mhm.
And she was like, I don't usually do this, and I wouldn't normally tell anybody something. She's like, but I feel like I need to talk to you as long as you're comfortable. Like, she was very endearing about the whole situation. So I don't like being the type of person that is comfortable with that, but I've had conversations with you where it just feels like it comes natural to you, like you're okay with anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not.
Like it's very hard for things to scare me. I'm not gonna lie. I've been watching
You're
horror
not afraid of
movies
the
ever since.
dark or anything?
No, not at all. Like when that whatever blew on Carolyn's head, I was like, oh hey, let's go investigate it. Like, let's go do
That
it.
was your first thought?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I broke out the stuff right
That
away.
stuff doesn't usually hurt you. It's people that hurt you. That's the thing,
So so the thing is like
It's a mental game too, though, because it's not necessarily physically hurting, but you play like a mind game with yourself where you're like, am I going crazy? Did that really just happen? Like, you know what I mean? Chris, I'm sure that when you first started with the ghost hunting that you were like, what, wait a minute. We
oh
gotta
yeah, of
like
course.
keep going with this to make sure I'm not the one who is just seeing this alone. Like, you
Oh yeah,
craved the next
absolutely.
experience.
Oh definitely.
I
I was going like every single night at the time. Constantly going to like different cemeteries, Eunice Williams Bridge and Deerfield. I've been there. That place is very unsettling.
So are you religious at all? Does that take
No.
any like no? So that
Nope.
doesn't even come
Not
into
at all.
account. So that's good. So here's a
Nope.
good one. You're not religious, but here's a good question. Ghosts or demons? Like, you think it could be a mix, or is it just like there's no demons, it's all ghosts if anything?
think both,
Mm.
but I'll let you
Yeah,
see what you
no,
think.
I feel like demons are definitely a thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, I'm not religious, but I'm very in the middle. Like, she knows. Like, I can be pretty skeptical, but I'm also open minded. Like, I'm not just gonna be like no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more like, I gotta see. I like proof. Like, I
He
like to
hasn't
see
had an
things.
experience, is what he's saying. Because
Yeah,
from what
no.
we've had for conversations, you just haven't had an experience. I've been in
Yeah, but you know what the
situations
hard part
where
for me is? Everybody I fucking talk to has had an experience.
Mhm.
Literally everybody. You go talk, I can go grab someone off the street and they'll be like, "Oh, let me tell you about this one time." Like, you know what I mean? So that makes it harder for me because
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of weird random places. I've been in a lot of weird situations. Like, I've just never been to be like, that was a ghost. You know what I mean? So like
But it
that's just
could
me.
also be the fact of like, they didn't debunk it or something. It very well could have been something that could easily be like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and I agree with you because I've been in situations where my immediate thought is fear. So I'm like, what the fuck was that? But then
Mhm.
when you think about it, you're like, oh, like the fan was on and the cabinet closed. But then there are some situations that I've had to sit down and contemplate my sanity about because
Mhm.
there's just no explanation to it
I
at
think
all.
I think it could be like UFOs though. There's like, if you look into any of the UFO stuff, there's people that see them all the time, and then there's people that will never see them. And a lot of people think it just depends on who you are, not necessarily that you're making it up mentally, but like I think it goes
Yeah,
the same with
there's
ghost stuff. Like, I feel like certain people will see, like you said, you have like a history in that stuff, and
Mhm.
I kind of do. Actually, I've told her my Bapchi was my grandmother was big time she went through World War II. She
Mhm.
ended up on a train with legit gypsies back in the day.
Oh
She used
jeez.
to read tarot. When we moved into our house, when I was just a child,
Mhm.
she wouldn't even sleep in the building. She slept on a front porch upstairs with privacy curtains hanging up. It wasn't even enclosed. She just slept outside. She wouldn't go to bed inside the house till a priest came and blessed the place. And then
Oh, okay.
she wrote letters and numbers above every doorway and window for like the first 10 years we lived there. She had to
Yeah.
re-up these with chalk. Like, that was very much a thing where she believed, and she's had dreams, you know, I've told, like I said on, I think last podcast, I don't remember, but she had a dream that my cousin was floating in the water injured. So she woke up, called my father, and was like, you need to call him and see what's going on. Turns out that week or the day before, he got injured on a boat, you know? But
Really?
to me, it's
Oh
like,
jeez.
but then again, my brain goes right to like the connection. Like, he lived with her off and on his whole life. That
Absolutely.
family
Yeah.
connection there was huge. So my brain doesn't immediately go to paranormal. It goes to like, and I guess
Maternal.
it kind of is paranormal in a sense to have that
Mhm.
extra connection with somebody. But
Right, yeah.
I don't immediately go to the fact that, oh, she's a medium. I go to the fact that
Yeah.
that's a connection that they have. So she felt something was wrong, that intuition,
Oh,
so
definitely, yeah.
so that's kind of where I end up in the middle of things. Like, I grew up in that, I love horror movies. I love all that stuff. I've always loved that ghost stuff. I grew up watching all the old unsolved mysteries, sightings, all these shows. I've always read the books. I've always done the research. I've just never. It's hard to nail down proof. That's the big thing, because then you find
Oh,
out
definitely.
Amityville was a lie. They all lied. You
Mhm.
find a lot of that stuff out, and it like as you go on, But then stories like yours, which I would never sit here and say that's fake, but I want to be there one day. Like she said that you were open to me going, and myself
Oh
and my
yeah,
fiance. Like I would
yeah.
love to do that. Like I want to
We would love
experience
to
some
have you.
shit. Yeah, I want to experience some shit. Like I'm open
Absolutely.
minded to that stuff. Like I would never say it's not going to happen because there's so many unexplained things on going on in our world that we can't see. Like you can't see radio waves, but you can turn on the radio.
Oh,
So
definitely. Yeah.
so there's shit happening. I haven't experienced anything. So
Yeah.
that's where I land.
So you brought up like the tarot cards. I don't believe like Ouija boards. I'm not gonna lie.
They're too easy to manipulate, even
That is
subconsciously.
one thing that I cannot stand. Like when people are like, "Oh, you want to play Ouija board?" I'm like, "No, not really," because
Wait. We talked about this previously off episode that I had found a Ouija board in my basement that my great grandmother, my great grandmother used to use, and she was a religious woman
Mhm.
who would have never told the family. The only reason we found this Ouija board was because we we kind of inherited this house that she used to live in after she died, and we found some weird questions. She wrote down the answers in the Ouija board. It's old as fuck. Like, when paper turns yellowy because it's been
Oh
sitting for
yeah.
a long time, looks like that. And then I told Chris about previous things that I might have been skeptical about, or I might
Mhm.
have like instilled fear in myself to overthink things. And I actually wanted him to check out the basement. Maybe I'm still like, what happens if there is something? Am I going to keep thinking about it if he does pursue that? But like my basement is just, if you were down there, it just feels heavy. But
It's
like you
hard
said,
for
it
me to
could be
believe that.
cords.
It's hard for me to believe that there's an entity waiting for you to play a Milton Bradley game to show himself.
No,
I'm serious.
I'm
Like he's just like, all you got to do is touch that planchette, and I'm fucking there. You're like that. I just that's I'm with Chris right here. I don't know
I
about the
don't
whole
like
game
the
shit.
I don't believe or like the Ouija boards. That was just an experience that we were talking about, because I also told him, I was like, I don't believe in the Ouija boards. You could buy those at fucking Toys R Us, and people are like, oh, did you see that? The letter moved. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Don't get me wrong. I do have one. I don't use
Yeah,
it.
but
I
it's
don't
just
use it.
like
I
I have
have
this
It's a
cool.
party game.
Yeah, I have other devices that I use.
Yeah.
I would never bring a Ouija board to a place and just like sit there,
It's a little
knowing
much.
that it could easily be manipulated. And a lot of people are going to think that it's manipulated
Yeah.
because
your
of the
hands
fact that
are on
because you
it.
can easily move it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do have a. I think I have a couple more. Did you ask your questions? Are you good up there? You were going nuts.
I know, because this stuff, like, I really don't know how to feel about it. Anyway, I do have one more question that I think is, well, I have two, but this one is really important that I want you to answer.
Pressure.
No.
Yeah, because one is
It's
just
very
like what's
important.
next.
It's very important.
I'll ask the other one at the end, but this one is just, I mean, because you should be content with what you're doing regardless of other people's opinions.
Mhm.
But how do other people perceive your passions, and like what stigmas do you have to constantly face sharing that with other people?
I have a lot of people who are like, I don't really trust like, YouTube channels because they could easily manipulate the
Oh,
evidence.
there's so many bad
Yeah.
YouTube channels out there.
Oh yeah.
If you ever, I don't know if you ever heard of the guys Corridor Digital, the Corridor
No, I've
crew.
never heard of them.
They're special effects guys, and they talk about movie special effects and TV show stuff, and they do
Yeah.
that stuff. So they'll tell you how it's made. They have whole
okay.
episodes where they watch YouTube ghost stuff, and they literally sit there and they're like, I know exactly how to do that. On my
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of that kind of debunking too.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
And it's very like skeptical of absolutely.
It's hard.
But I have a lot of people who are like, yeah, this is really good stuff because, I don't really know how to edit.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Same.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just learning how to do it. But the fact that like, I've had like 12,600 views on my Hinsdale video.
That's awesome.
And it's all like true evidence. Like I don't know how to manipulate and fake
Spooky
evidence.
Hollows, everybody.
Spooky Hollows. Gotta
Gotta
plug
plug
it.
Gotta plug it.
Gotta plug it.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think I have a couple more. Do you guys ever bring do you have a medium in your group, or do you bring someone who would be a medium? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. How does that work out?
Her name's Carissa. So basically she can sense whether there's something there.
She usually pretty
What do you
spot
mean?
on, or
Yeah, she's usually
Okay.
pretty spot on. So there was the leader of my group actually went to the SK Pierce mansion, and she actually got an attachment
Uh-huh.
from there. Actually, no, it wasn't from there.
Elaborate.
I'm sorry, it wasn't from there. It was from the Freemason Society. Like we went to
Those
one
damn
of the Freemasons.
Freemasons
Yeah,
controlling
we
the
went.
world and trying to attach stuff.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
went to one of the Freemason lodges, and investigated there in Middleborough,
Okay.
and we've had things happen. Like I've had everybody heard it. Everybody was in the same room, and all of a sudden, this loud bang came from like the huge room with all the chairs. Absolutely insane.
Make
But
it jump, make it jump a little.
she got an attachment from there, and then it like attacked her at the SK Pierce mansion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Ah!
so her mood completely changed.
So like
And
psychologically attacked her, or like
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
Just
so
so people
then,
know how you mean by that. All right.
yeah, it's like psychologically attacked her. And then Carissa actually said, like, hey, you got this from this place. And I honestly, I'm not sure if she knew if we went there or not, but she was like spot on, because there was a woman there who we were talking to, and the same exact woman was the woman that Carissa mentioned,
Wow.
which is absolutely insane.
You nervous
That's
up there?
No.
Okay.
I've been to a lot of places, and a lot of places have given me like I've been to a lot of like big name places, and a lot of them have given me like very, very, very good evidence.
The heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. You're not gonna be
There
able to
was
sleep
there was
tonight.
there was one time when actually there was a couple times, like I said, I used to do like cemeteries and stuff when I was starting out, and I went to the Bliss Hill Cemetery with my drummer, and we walked up to the corner, in the upper corner, and all of a sudden this woman like literally like screamed, and it was like 15 feet away from us in the woods, and it was like a full blown like woman scream, and it was on camera too. So I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And then we like ran to the middle of the cemetery, not to the upper corner. We ran to the middle, and we were just like standing there in disbelief. We didn't hear anything run through the woods, nothing walking through the woods, and we just like we went back to the crypt. We're like, "Yeah, no, screw this."
Definitely not a fox, though. You ever hear a fox scream in the woods at night?
It was not a fox.
Okay.
I've looked up a bunch of
People get
animals.
mistaken real bad with foxes, man. If you ever hear a fox at 3 a.m. screaming,
Yeah.
ooh, it sounds like a lady just got punched in the
Actually,
face.
I might even be able to find it if you would like.
So crazy.
Yeah, dude. While you're looking for it, another serious question here. You have any ghost hunting rivals? You got any rival teams that you see and you're like, these motherfuckers fucking showing up here?
No, I honestly don't find ghost hunting like competition wise,
Okay.
because we're all trying to do the same thing, and that's just to prove that something's out there.
Right.
So personally, I do not find anybody to be any rivals.
Okay.
Because,
That's a good thing, though.
Because
No bad blood.
No, because if I go to a place and have like a very good time, somebody could go to the same exact place on a different day and have no luck whatsoever.
That'll be me.
So I don't have any rivals whatsoever.
I'll go to your hotspot and nothing will happen while I'm there. Watch.
Yeah.
Then I'll leave and everything will happen.
Yeah, so
I hope it happens to you.
All the ghosts
I
are like,
really,
there he
really,
is.
really do.
There he is, hide. It's like when the cops come to the house party
Hide.
and knock on the door. Everyone's hiding behind the couch and shit.
Yeah, I've captured a lot of evidence that I cannot explain whatsoever. And even at Bliss Hill, like it's in the middle of nowhere, and all of our phones are on airplane mode, so it's not interrupting like the REM pod or anything, and the REM pod just will not stop. It will not stop going off. It's fresh battery, because a lot of the times if your battery is dying as well, it will start going nuts and blip and light up and all this kind of stuff. I can also pull out the equipment to show you guys if you would like as well. But yeah, no,
we got a few more minutes. Did you find that clip?
Yeah, I just did. So I don't know if you guys can hear this. It sounds I've looked up a bunch of like animal calls and I could not figure out what it was.
Yeah, it's very very specific. Like could be an owl, but that's like different from an owl.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I've looked up a bunch of like owls and stuff that live around here, and I couldn't find anything. I've looked up fox calls. I've looked up, other types
Foxes
of
are
animals.
definitely different. Foxes are definitely
Yeah.
different.
And you know
Yeah.
what? You can tell that he's passionate about this because any other person would have immediately posted without thinking to look up what other animal sounds like that call that he had. So
Absolutely.
at least you know that he's like really putting the work in, that this is his passion, not something that he's like, yeah, well.
Yeah, let's see some of this gear, and then I got one more question, and then we can wrap it up.
So
I have one more question at the end to wrap it up.
You're done.
This is a cat ball that I was talking about.
Yes.
I'll just set it down and
I
I'll
used to
show
have
you.
one for my actual cats.
So when it stops, it takes like somebody touching it to set it off.
Yeah.
No.
That's how I get set off too.
This is the EMF reader. This is the device that actually moved at Jones's Cemetery.
Okay. The one that like fell off the table?
No.
Or no,
No, this was
that
on
was
the
one on
flat
the ground. Okay.
Yep, flat ground.
I'm mixing it up with the other one there.
Yep. So this is my spirit box. Like I said, I scan in reverse on AM frequencies. So it says scanning FM, and then you can switch it to AM. And then I'll sweep it in reverse.
Okay.
That way there, if anything comes through, it's not radio stations because, no radio stations are usually on AM frequencies.
Yeah, unless it's like 5 a.m.
Exactly, yeah.
Is this and now how expensive is this equipment? Is it a pretty penny when you get into it, or is there like low, mid, and high end stuff versions of this? Probably, right?
No, so I went all out, and when I bought everything, and I dropped like $500 to $600 on just equipment in general.
So it's not bad. It's not terrible to get into a
no,
hobby.
It's
cheaper than
it's not
music.
terrible at all.
It's cheaper than music.
Oh, definitely. So this is like the most expensive thing that I have, though. This is the REM pod. And
sounds like something Kayla vapes.
So usually when the REM pod is on, I'm gonna have to put it over there on the stand just to show you guys. So I'll be right back. Because if I put it on the bed, it's just gonna go off like crazy.
What? What did you just say?
I just want to make sure he has pants on. There's too many Zoom
calls.
I
want to ask my question first.
Look at all these Zoom calls where the guy gets up and he's in boxers and a suit top.
So this is how the REM pod works. You walk up to it, and you have to get close to it in order to set it off.
So what does it have, like a little short range frequency around it?
Yeah.
I sound smart, right?
No.
Fuck you.
The battery's dying on it. See what I mean by, like, if the battery's dying, it'll go off like crazy?
That's where the skeptics will dive on you for, too.
Yeah. So,
but he was honest just now, so he
told me.
No, I'm not saying
the battery's pretty dead.
That's what makes the YouTube gig hard. You get on there and something like that, people dive on you for it. Same thing with the flashlight and the connection being hot, cold, and you breathe on that flashlight, it'll turn on sometimes,
Yeah, so I've had, times where the cat ball doesn't go off, and then times where, like, you just touch it and it'll light up. So there's times where it just goes off to questions. Like I ask questions, and then the cat ball usually goes off to the questions.
Now the big one is if you can get that thing to light up one color to a question, that would be the shit.
What,
right?
this?
No, the cat ball, because it flashes.
Oh, the cat ball.
If you can just light it up red, ooh,
yeah,
that would be your video, dude.
Yeah, but I film everything in night vision. So I actually
got a cool camera setup.
Yeah, I actually have a DSLR.
That's where where most of that 500 went right there.
Yeah, I paid $200 for this.
Oh, that's not
bad. It's a Canon T7i.
Okay.
And it was sent out to have the IR cut filter removed. So I usually throw this on to make it so it looks like a normal camera. Otherwise, if I just shot like this, everything would be pink. Because it picks up like all kinds of light, picks up infrared and everything.
Okay.
So this little blue filter it helps cut that out.
Now, do you have one of those setups to look for cold spots?
Are you talking about a
you bring like
camera?
Yeah, or do you bring like a heat gun with you?
Yep, I have an infrared camera. I don't know exactly where that is. I don't normally bring that.
That's all right.
But yeah, the camera I paid, it was like $206 or something like that. So it's pretty simple. Pretty,
Okay.
it wasn't bad.
Nice.
I have just regular voice recorders.
Classic. You can't beat that.
Yep, just regular voice recorders. I've caught screams on those when everybody's silent. I have another thing. So this is one of my favorite devices. So you plug this in and you set this part on the ground and it picks up footprints.
Really?
Huh?
Yep. So when you turn it on, you set it so there's like nothing, and then when something's walking around it, it'll just light up.
Oh, vibrations in the ground.
Vibrations. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's cool.
So it's almost like a little seismograph, like a mini version.
Yep. So
all right. See, I sound smart, Kayla. I sound smart.
You need my validation.
Yeah, validate me.
Nah.
Called the geophone. I actually got that for free as well, but I always have Sage as well. Always have Sage ready to go.
I have Sage. I have Sage.
Okay, you don't
just in case.
About it.
I've never used it, but I have Sage.
What's your final question that you were? Okay, here we go. She left. She does this every time.
Oh, there's the Sage.
It's still in the package.
I'm so afraid to light it because then it makes it real.
You're physically having it. It's real.
It's like they're gonna hunt me.
Yeah, exactly. No,
they're hunting you now because it's in plastic.
Stop! It's not hunting. Nobody's hunting me. I am not. No, maybe I should burn this. Stop. Everything's fine.
When we're done with the episode, you can run around your house. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll a blunt personally. I'm not gonna burn sage. What's your question? What's your final question? I know Google Meet's gonna cut us off soon.
Yeah, in like 4 minutes. Hang on. Wait, what was it? Oh, what's an experience you'll never forget? Your absolute favorite experience that'll stay with you for the rest of your life.
An experience that I will never forget. Okay, this is actually crazy. So I was doing the SS method, the headphones in as loud as it can go, and I played hide and clap with somebody.
Ooh.
And actually found them.
I'm sorry.
Yep,
with
this
the
is
blindfold.
on.
She's so scared right now.
So I had my hat pulled down over my eyes so I couldn't see a thing. It was pitch black. And
I don't have any more alcohol for this.
Yeah, no. So
should have been drinking CBD.
this is actually on my Conjuring video, and that video is called. Let's pull it up real quick. You won't believe what we caught on camera at the real Conjuring house.
Spooky Hollows.
Spooky Hollows.
Chris, listen. Both of you Chris's. I would have gouged my eyes out before playing hide and clap.
Yep.
Okay?
So
Psycho.
one person...
All you gotta do is blindfold. You don't have to gouge your eyes out.
No, yes. I'll gouge them out.
So one person went to go hide, and she hit on some stairs.
No.
I was sitting on the couch, and I was listening to the spirit box, and it told me to get up. So I stood up, and it told me to walk straight. So I walked straight. It told me to stop. I stopped. Said, turn right. So I turned right, walked to the door, like where about the door would be to my left, and it told me to stop. So I said, so I stopped, and then it told me to turn left. So I turned left, and I started walking, and it said, stop right in front of the stairs. And then it said, you're great. And then it said, clap. So then she just like on the stairs. And then all of a sudden, like, it said turn left, so I turned left, and then all of a sudden, like, she's like, she's happy, like she peeked around the corner, and then it said reach. So I reached my arm out and actually touched her, and you could just see like the shock on my face that actually worked. It was absolutely insane. I found her with headphones on.
Not bad. And that's in the video. Is that video up right now?
Yep. Okay. It's on the Spooky Hollows YouTube page.
Ah, yes. I got to watch that one. I was partway into one earlier, and then I had to do other freaking life stuff. But
yeah, that breath that I said that I caught is also in that video.
Okay. Everybody go watch that. Check it out. I have one more thing before we go. Okay. Kayla knows what I'm about to bring up, but okay. This is also a part of the ghost world. Kayla thought I was a fucking maniac for bringing this
Wait,
up. but I
wait,
have
pause.
to-
No. Okay,
right
wait.
when you go to sleep.
Tell me when you're about to start, so we can preface.
Oh,
that
I already
this is the most
started. I already
important
started.
Question.
I started when
The
we came back
most
in.
important question
Not
of
the
them
most
all.
Come
So
on.
this is fun. Listen, this is just very serious business. Okay,
Serious
so
business,
here's
okay?
celebrities: Anna Nicole Smith, Kesha, Bobby Brown, and Lucy Liu have all claimed to have had sexual relations with ghosts. Do you believe in horny ghosts? Is this a thing?
You know, I have personally
You were ready for all the
never-
questions.
I personally have never had a sexual relation with a ghost.
Listen, a lady married a ghost not too long ago. I literally saw the headline. This lady married a ghost.
I did too.
Really?
She had a ghost bother her while she was doing yoga, and then he kept coming back, and she goes, "You know what? I love this guy." She married him.
She married the ghost.
How do you?
I don't know.
How do you?
If you saw the picture of the lady, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
Yeah, it makes sense. Personally, I have never had any sexual relations with a ghost, so I'm not sure, and I don't want to put my 2 cents out there with that because I feel like it's just weird. In my opinion, no. I don't see that happening. Just very weird.
I would think that would fall more under like demonic, like a succubus or incubus, like
Yeah. Intelligent.
yeah, intelligent, yeah, and very intelligent.
Creepy. Don't touch her vagina while she's sleeping.
You have the one incel ghost in your room tonight.
Oh,
Stop! I literally sleep
Kayla's
with,
got her
like,
sage ready.
Bro, I have a knife ready. What am I gonna stab?
Air.
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Oh,
That's not
my
funny.
God.
That's not good.
I've never. I don't know. That's out of my league.
There's
I
so
wanna
many
interview
stories.
one of
There's
those
so
girls.
many stories out there like that. It's crazy. If you look it up, man, the amount of stories of people with sexual encounters with a ghost is ridiculous.
Oh,
I'm looking it up right now.
it's kind of bizarre.
Just gotta look it up right now. It is. People get wacky, man. And that's why it muddies the waters for like someone like you who's actually out there doing it. So many people muddy the water. They put out fake videos, movies.
Right, yeah.
They blow up these stories into movies that are barely true. And then sexual ghost encounters. You know, fucking
Yeah. See, I
Oh,
kinda find that hard to believe.
spectrophilia.
spectrophilia.
That's what it's called.
Wait,
Well,
no,
that's
spectrophilia
those
is
people
sexual
that
attraction to ghosts or sexual arousal from images in mirrors, as well as the alleged
Could you
phenomenon.
imagine you're looking in the mirror in the
Sexual
dark and
encounters
you see
with
like
ghosts
Bloody
and
Mary
demons.
behind you and you're rock
Okay.
hard.
So they actually have this thing called scrying, where
Huh?
yeah. So you actually look in the mirror, and you have like a candle going or something like that, some very 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 low light situation going on, and you stare at yourself in the mirror, and just do not blink. You just full on stare.
But
And
your eyes would play tricks on you after a minute of
exactly
that.
that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. Your eyes play tricks on you. So
Yeah.
I've
True story.
I've-
True story. When I was a kid, I was so fucking scared of Bloody Mary when I was a kid.
oh I was
First
too, for
time
sure.
I heard that, I did not want to
sure.
go in the bathroom to shower. Like my mom had to beat me into the bathroom to shower.
Constantly being like checking the mirrors just to make sure
Open
that
the
nobody's
shower
standing in the mirror.
I still wait. Am I the only one who does this? Like, if I am home alone and I hear like a noise, it could be my dogs outside. I'll either open the shower curtain or I will not close my eyes for too long in the shower when I'm like washing my
Just
face.
letting
I
the
can't
soap
do
You
go
it.
gotta
down
catch
your
the shower
eyes.
ghost lacking.
Okay, I was gonna say, am I the only one
Now-
who like checks?
I know I brought it up earlier, but I'm going to bring it up again because this has happened to me at least twice in my life. You ever have sleep paralysis?
No.
Because
Nope.
that's
Oh.
that. Like whenever
Well,
someone tells
actually-
me that they saw something in their bed at night, my brain, because I've had sleep
So-
paralysis and you see some shit.
Yeah, but you're also not able to move.
Yeah, I couldn't move.
I've had
So-
sleep
so
paralysis
I've
in the
actually-
worst fucking way, bro.
I've actually had something happen to me here that I don't know if it was sleep paralysis or not, but I feel like it was like just as I was about to slip into like sleep, I opened up my eyes and somebody was standing in the corner of my living room. Like full blown standing in the corner of my living room. But the thing is I jumped up It wasn't sleep
No.
paralysis, I don't
So
think.
was it gone
Yeah,
when you jumped
no.
up? When you jumped up, did everything
Yeah,
clear up?
it was gone.
So it could have been like it could have been brief. Like I watched whole specials on this because it happened to me on like a Sunday afternoon one time.
Mhm.
I was living alone in an apartment. I was on a fucking recliner and I was tired, so I was like I'm just gonna nap. And then for like the next hour, I could barely keep my eyes were half open, but I couldn't shut them or open them, and I couldn't move.
Mhm.
And I could see someone standing like 5 feet away from my chair, just standing there, but I couldn't make out what it was. It was a shape, and it was just like. Felt like an eternity of me laying there staring at this figure in my room. And then you finally get up and you're like, what the fuck? And it's happened to me at least twice where I've like,
Yeah, no, this was
ugh.
very quick. Like it was like I looked up, said what the fuck, sat up, and I literally yelled it because I thought somebody was in my living room.
Yo,
So-
that's just freaky, man. I don't know. There's
Oh yeah.
there's a movie called I think it's called The Nightmare. You could it's out there to watch. It's kind of a
I've never
documentary
seen
with
it.
dramatizations in it, but they
Okay.
interview people who have actual sleep paralysis, and then they do like a dramatization of it, and that shit will give you nightmares. Because then like the person's like, yeah, and then this happened. Then they cut to a reenactment of what happened, and it's like, oh.
No, I've had some very
Okay.
weird nightmares.
Ooh.
Kayla knows about some of them. It's weird. I'm
I
telling
don't
you.
like. I feel like I have sleep paralysis more than I fucking want to because I hate the dark. No, it's terrifying, and maybe it's like a lot of it is
See-
sleep deprivation. But I'm also they connect it with lucid dreams also because you're like half awake, half asleep. So they try to
Yeah.
connect.
I've always
the
wanted
two.
to lucid dream.
You gotta
It's- it-
train. You
I-
gotta train yourself for that shit. You can.
Yeah,
train
no,
for
exactly,
that.
for sure.
Some people it just happens to like when I am in a dream and I'm consciously aware that I'm dreaming, I can
Yep.
control the situation whenever I know that I'm having a dream. Which
Okay.
I didn't realize until recently that wasn't a normal thing.
Mhm.
Like I was talking to one of my girlfriends and I was like, "Oh yeah, you know like when you have a dream and you're like at a cafe and you can like say what you want to order but you know that you're ordering that." And she's like,
Yeah.
"No." She's like, "I usually order something fucking stupid. It's my dream. I don't have any control."
Yeah,
And
I'll
I'm
take
like,
a large
"Oh."
Yeah.
bleepity blook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
usually when
it's
I have
weird.
nightmares, I try falling back asleep as quick as I can to get back into it.
Ugh.
I
hate-
love horror dreams. I love anything horror. Anything scary, I'm there.
No,
That's why my Spooky Hollows name fits
There
so
you
well.
go. There you go. So let's wrap it up. Like plug it on. Let's plug it. So we got. Go ahead, plug it up. What you got?
So if you
Everything.
want to follow our Facebook page, we're called After Dark Paranormal of Mass. Same thing with Instagram. And then if you want to follow all my social media, TikTok is Spooky Hollows. Same with YouTube. I do have a Twitch channel that I
Plug
barely
it.
stream on. I barely stream on. It's called Spooky Hollows.
Okay. Okay.
Everything that is affiliated with me is Spooky Hollows.
Do the music. You plug your music too.
Yep.
Yep.
I was just
So
gonna
I'm in
say
a
that.
band called Pralium. I play the lead guitar. And we're going to be playing at the Worcester Palladium in
Worcester,
Worcester,
Mass.
Massachusetts. And it's going to be a killer show for sure. It's going to be one of the...
Necrogoblicon just played there and murdered it. I heard.
Wait,
I
when
wanna
did you plug the
go
date so that people could show up if they wanted to buy
Yep.
tickets?
So the show is June 16th, and it's $17 a day of the show. And
Get
doors
it.
open at 6 p.m. I almost said 6 a.m. Imagine that.
Oof.
6 a.m.
Oh. Imagine
Uh,
doing a
that'd be-
show at 6 a.m., dude. It's hard
Oh,
enough
that'd be
at 8.
so rough. But yeah, we're really excited for that show because we've been trying to work up to the Palladium, and to play at the Palladium is just unreal.
Yeah.
So it's very, very exciting for us.
That's surreal. It's a great moment for you
Oh,
guys.
definitely.
I'll have to tell you one day off cam why we never played out that way. But that'll be an off camera. That'll be an off to the side thing. I don't
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna let Chris go. Thank you for joining us. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me.
It's been awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Have a nice
Bye.
night, guys.
Have a good night.
You too.
What do you think? That was a good guest.
You're welcome.
For those of you wondering, Kayla did line up this guest. I think it was a good conversation. Had to hit him with the hard-hitting questions at the end there. Kayla threw the softball ones at him, and I just had to bring in that freaking rock-hard question of, like, sex ghosts.
By the way, could have went without that
This?
the whole time. It's I got the shaved eyebrows, so I gotta be extra with my eyebrows.
Faux shaved eyebrows.
It's fake. I wouldn't actually shave them.
I've thought
I'm
about
too
putting
scared.
a couple Adidas lines in right here. I gotta go with the K Swiss lines. I gotta get a 5. Ba 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 ba.
So you look like a zebra because your hair's like black and white.
My hair's dope. But I don't know. Distractedanddisorderly@gmail.com, at Dis and Dispod on TikTok, on Twitter, at Distracted and Disorderly Podcast on Instagram. We're on YouTube. You can search us up. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We got 9 episodes out so far. This is going to be episode 10. What are we doing next? Come on, distractedanddisorderly@gmail.com.
10 episodes!
The spooky one, come on, people wanted spooky ones, and now we're doing the spooky one, so you gotta like talk to us, you know?
Yeah, we heard you. So if you could be polite enough to email us, we'd be happy.
DMs, emails, whatever you want to do. You want to just say hi? You can just say hi. On the TikTok, you can hit the wave hand. Poke me on Facebook. Fucking
don't wave
poke
or
me
poke
on
me.
Facebook. Huh?
What was this? That wasn't poking.
Why'd you do this version of it? I did this version of it. You did the weird
What
version.
is this?
Poke me on Facebook. Don't poke me on Facebook. That's like a grandma ass thing to do. On that note, let's wrap. You got anything left for us? Kayla.
What was that show called?
That was the Goosebumps theme song she was trying to
Yeah, Goosebumps. Okay, sorry. I love this episode. It was great. So, but we gotta.
Is that the wine talking or?
No, actually, rosé sucks. It has like no alcohol in it, so this is just me manic.
All right. I didn't yawn at all.
Wow, do you want to fucking? Good job, asshole! You didn't fucking yawn on the podcast.
Thank you. I didn't yawn on the podcast. Number fucking 1 and number 2. Whoa. All right, so we got to figure out what we're gonna do next week, and
I already know, but he doesn't know yet.
Oh, she's gonna tell me some secrets. But we appreciate all of you. Seriously, we appreciate everybody that's watching, listening, anybody commenting, liking. You know, hit us up on the socials. We need to get growing a little bit here. We want to grow. You want to be a part of the show? Hit me up. Let me know what you can do. We're small, but we want to expand our circle. Okay, I don't know what she's doing. We want to expand our circle, you know, so
I want to grow.
You know, we're getting into it. Check out, we're going to start, I know I've been saying this every episode, but we're going to get into the Twitch thing, at NoVital, at Christopher K Music. We're still working it out. She's going to get started pretty soon, which is cool. It's going to be fun stuff. Go check out my music stuff. I'm on Spotify, Christopher K. I got a couple songs up there. I got some more in the works. Make sure you go check out Pralium, you know, Chris's band. They're going to be at the Palladium in Worcester. They're on Spotify, right? Yeah, they're on Spotify. I'm gonna yawn if I keep doing this. Okay, I'm holding it back, holding it in. But
we might be there, and you know, maybe I'd like to give out an autograph for 5, but my hopes are too high.
If you're lucky, she'll wear
so.
Sandals. But my fiance will
the
be
toes will not be exposed.
My fiance will probably be wearing sandals anyway too, because that's how we roll. I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna be in a crowd of people, I'm wearing shoes. Yeah.
I don't want to get like trench foot. Is that still a thing?
You in the war? You're in the war and we're wearing boots and a trench? On that note, thank you for joining us. Distracted and Disorderly Podcast.